Welcome to another episode. I was just thinking, we're your hosts. This is John Farmer, James Wilson. Well, obviously we got New Year's tonight.
New Year, yes.
New Year's Eve today.
Oh, yes.
Or, I don't know if you officially got to wait for the Eve to it be the Eve, but it is New Year's Eve day. Tomorrow is 2024, and...
Man, where does the time go? It flies by, man.
And that's what got me. I had a couple moments, the kids sleep in, it's a holiday. Had a couple moments to myself to sit around, and I was just thinking.
That's pretty rare.
Yeah. And, but yeah, like how fast time goes. And then it got me, the way my brain works is I run right into, well, you could like travel back in time, and I got to thinking about,
okay,
man, I wish I could go back and look at that. I wish I can go back and look at that, because I don't remember all the parts or some shit. But I was, time travel, man.
Dude, I actually think about that a lot. I just wish I invested in Bitcoin maybe like 12, 13 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not even a big crypto guy. I just wish I totally got in on that because I remember hearing about it. Well, and if I did invest in crypto like way back then, yeah, we would be having this podcast in my mansion.
That's why you need a DeLorean. You could go get the freaking almanac, flip open and say, hey, invest in 2005, whenever the hell it was. It's almost been 20 years now. But if you can read that almanac and it was like, oh, in year 2000, Bitcoins were like 60 cents. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Or even less than a penny back in the day. But yes, that's what I wish I had a time machine for. But yeah, I'd go back, like Back in the Future. I have a cool sports car time machine. That's pretty ideal. Just take it for a spin. Back when I loved that movie as a kid, I thought DeLoreans were like badass sports cars or something, but it turns out they were pieces of shit. Dude, I really thought like they were badass. Now it's just a novelty car thanks to the movies.
It's the only reason they're around right now.
Yeah, because...
But I thought the exact same thing. I thought they were like, oh my God, that's the baddest motherfucker I've ever seen. I said, I want one. And then, like you said, once you get a little older, you're like, oh, glad I didn't spend that money.
They made it, in the movie too, they made it sound like it was like really fast car. They're not, can they even go 100 miles an hour? Can they go over 100?
Actually, something I was reading one time, and they were said because the speedometer only goes to 85.
In the DeLorean?
Yeah.
Exactly. What the hell?
But they were like, well, we need to get to 88 miles an hour because, I mean, that was just the formula that the dude, Robert Zemeckis or whoever his name was.
Robert Zemeckis, he did that?
Yeah.
Nice.
And then, they asked him, as well, do you want us to, like, put in a new speedometer that at least goes past 85 miles an hour? And they just kept it in there,
See, they're basically saying, we got to top this car out if we're going to go anywhere in time.
My knobs go to 11.
No, but that's still like the most badass, coolest time machine fiction ever. Like, just get the sports car with the cool sci-fi decorations. Yeah. Especially in the second one when it could fly. When he went to the future, like
roads.
I thought that's what 2020 was gonna be like back when I was a kid. That shit was.
I thought I'd at least have one of those damn floating skateboards by now.
Yeah, I mean, totally had a hoverboard. That seems really doable too. But no, I've always liked the time travel idea and just going back and fixing things. I don't know if you'd actually be able to. If you'd like be able to go back and actually change the past, though, is that possible in theory?
Well, that's what I've heard several things on. Is one of the rules is you can go back in the past, but kind of like Back into the Future. You you can go back to the past or into the past and Back to the Future. You can go into the past, but you go to the exact same spot you were physically right then, and you can't mix anything up, or you're going to erase. Like if you like Lorraine and George, if he mixes them up and gets them separated, then his picture starts disappearing because if you mess with something in the past, it changes the whole future. That's
I know, like Neil deGrasse Tyson talking wise, like if time travel were possible, I don't think it would be anywhere close to that. Like my brother's disappearing limb by limb on the picture I got on this freaking Polaroid, man. But it still was cool idea. What's like some of the early time machine stuff? Well, Time Machine, H.G. Wells, man.
I didn't.
That was interesting because he would just sit in the machine. This bubble would kind of form around him, and he would go back in time, so he would see everything outside him like change around him.
Yeah.
It was a pretty cool movie, cool premise. But like, is that really how it would be though? Like, if we find a way to travel through time, would it really just be like stepping in this big machine, or would it be like motorized?
I think more than likely the way governments work and the grasp for power and everything, I think it would end up being like Terminator, where he's sent in the past to intentionally keep something from happening in order to get the result in the future, because he came to the past to stop the network from creating AI, right? Basically,
that's something else I don't understand, this feedback loop. Like, so the robot went back in time to kill Sarah Connor in the first movie before John was born. So the Resistance sent a guy back, but that guy ended up being John's father. So like, wouldn't have happened unless they created their own like feedback loop there. And it's just kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, because you couldn't get it right on the first try.
They caused the very thing they're trying to prevent, like just by trying to prevent it. If that makes sense, because it's kind of weird. But I see this all the time in the in the movies and TV shows with time travel. It's like we go back, change the past, boom, done. Have happily ever after. Oh yeah, that movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington. He just like climbed in a little pod.
Yeah.
And they just like press some buttons. That was cool. Oh man, I should have invested in Bitcoin, y'all. y'all.
I actually bought some not Bitcoin, but some other coins and stuff. Right when it was at its peak, I was, oh man, I gotta get on this. And it has just crashed ever since. I'm still holding on to them.
That's when I kind of got into crypto too, briefly. And that's what I think about all the time. If I just got Bitcoin when it was less than $1, sold it at 69,000, that's the most it's ever been.
Yeah.
I would be so rich. And everyone was saying, oh, it's just going to keep going up. It's going to hit 100,000. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then it crashed. But hey, it's going back up. It's like at 40,000 now.
Yeah, it's
that's just right crypto's now. Weird to me, but I just wish I invested in it so I'd be rich.
Yeah. I mean, I was even it was just a matter of like a couple of months. Like it was around June of, was it 2020 or 21? Maybe 21.
It was 21, yeah.
But right around June time, I mean, all these like Shiba Inu,
yeah, that's weird.
I mean, that thing just took off. I mean, I was like,
it took off. I kept hearing about all these success stories about like someone making $1 million on it and retiring, and just thought like that could be me.
It followed up with all the suckers like me that was like, oh yeah, let me get on this wave, ride it straight down to.
See, that would be my thing. Time travel. I'll just get into stock trading, but use my time machine to know what's up. I guess that's kind of greedy. I mean, would you try to change the past, like something bad, if you could go back?
You know, as shitty as things at times were, I think I'd still keep. Now, if I'd keep things the same up to a certain point, might possibly lay some information in my mailbox to arrive fucking January 1st, 2024. Oh, hey, buy the stock. I might hook myself up, but I wouldn't want to change anything up till now. Because,
that's funny you say that, because that's another time travel movie where, like, the Keanu Reeves leaves the shit in the mailbox, and then, like, Sandra Bullock gets it decades later. I think that's
the lake house, right?
The lake house.
Yeah.
I think that's who's in the movie. I haven't seen it in like over.
Yeah, they were living together in separate moments.
Living in the same lake house, but at different times, and the mailbox was the time machine. See, I hope for a physical time machine you can get in yourself and not just deliver mail. But hey, leave yourself a note like, hey, dude.
Yeah, hey.
Bitcoin 2010. Do it.
Now, if you could go back, I obviously go back to drop yourself something to hook yourself up. What other things would you go back in time to see?
In time to see?
If you could go back in the past, and this is like one of those, like, you can't affect anything, but you can just watch it. So you're like just eyes only, like nobody can see you. You're just watching shit happen. Like what?
What would I want to watch? Maybe like Woodstock 69. Just go there and party. I don't know, like it's something, go back in time to like watch something but can't change it. I would want to do something fun, man.
Well, things I thought of.
Maybe the World Fair in like New York like 100 years ago or some shit. I don't know, crazy shit. When electricity was getting some traction.
I think it was the 1905 World Fair or 1907.
Yeah, something like that.
When the Eiffel Tower was introduced. But I mentioned that because one of the things that fascinates me, and I would love to go back to see how the pyramids were built.
See, yeah, there you go. I would see that.
But I was watching this video or reel or something, and it was like the only thing, because the pyramids were built they say 6, 7, or so 10,000 years ago or something like that, a long damn time ago. The next tallest man-made structure after the pyramids was the Eiffel Tower.
So yeah,
to give you just a grand scale of it,
that much longer for us to build something that tall.
Yeah, about 4,000 years passed before they.
See, yeah, there you go. I would like to see how those were built. Maybe get some demographics on all the workers there.
Come back with information, but like go to these archaeologists.
I guess it was really like all Jewish slaves, but it was still just like generations of them over 100 years building these things. So I can believe that, like hundreds, thousands of slaves built the pyramids over a lot of years.
But you hear Joe Rogan talking about it and all the time, and he's like, it's 2,300,000 stones, and they're all like at least a ton each. And he's like, man,
they just got people. They got the slaves doing that for hundreds of years.
Well, when I was deployed to Iraq the first time, for a little bit, had to drive our company commander around. And I asked him that question. I mean, this was back in 2003. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, if you can go back in time, what would you go back to see? And this guy, I was never thought of anything like this before. He said, I would like to go back when they were creating the atomic bomb. He said, well, obviously they got the movie now. They didn't have that then. But he said to sit there and watch this freaking physicist or whatever he was come up with a formula to create a bomb that could just annihilate, like, what, 2-3 square miles?
Probably more than that,
but I got to say,
that's
I was like, man, to see that mind working, I was like, all right, I can see that. That'd be pretty cool.
I would not want to be anywhere near an atomic bomb. Or any of the sketchy ass people or the countries making them. But yeah, that just opened the floodgates for nuclear weapons. I haven't seen the Oppenheimer. I haven't seen the movie. I'm sure they get into like lots of the moralities of actually going through with building a bomb capable of that. I have heard that they don't get into any of the like after effects about radiation or anything. But I think that's because none of that was really known at the time. I don't think any of that really was common knowledge till like the 60s or 70s about radiation poisoning and all the after effects of nuclear fallout. Yeah, I guess go back in time to prevent a nuclear war or something. But could you change the past or change the future? I don't think it's that easy, man.
Yeah.
What I like is this show Lost back in the day. It kind of went off the rails after the third season, but like fourth or fifth season, that island starts traveling randomly to all these points in time, and they try to fix things that happen, save people's lives, but they end up making it worse or even like causing what they're trying to prevent. I think that's kind of the most real outcome of time travel. Like, if I go back to save John F. Kennedy, I'm not going to end up saving him. I might actually make it worse or something. That's what I think more logical outcome with the whole changing the past thing. But if it's even possible, we've had the notion in our heads for like over 100 years, and I've always been interested by it. But all I freaking wanted to do was get my Bitcoin 12 years ago.
So if you're watching this in 2004, buy Bitcoin. It's like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when he makes the note for himself on the little tape player.
Oh, see, that's another
Remember
classic.
the trash cans.
Another classic.
Dad.
My favorite part was Beethoven in the mall, like the music store just jamming out. He's doing like all the rock keyboards. And he's having a ball doing what Beethoven does. And we're just like, yeah, who is this guy, dude?
Now,
yeah, that was cool.
That would be my ideal situation, because I think about all the time bringing what it would be like if you brought somebody to today. Let's say you go back to Ben Franklin. The electricity. Yeah, he had the damn kite and all that crap on the key on the kite. Going back in the past, bringing him to see what the hell, showing him the spear in Las Vegas, show him that shit like an eyeball. I mean, freak his ass out.
I think Ben Franklin's head might explode.
But inversely, if you get stuck there, I don't know if I'd be cut out and survive in the damn 1700s. I've been watching. You ever watch Outlander? That's another one where it's just a particular wormhole in a location, and if you walk into the stone, it's a wormhole. they go to a different part, and it's just a series of wormholes that take them to different time frames or time eras. And
that would suck to be stuck in a century before now, or even 1 century before now or more. That would suck.
I'd be like, man, can I get some biscuits and gravy? Like,
I think they still have that 100 years ago.
Yeah. Wonder how old gravy is. See, that's the thing. If I had a time machine, I would go back. It would be like a series.
Who
Like,
invented gravy?
Hey, yeah, take me to the invention of gravy.
Actually, if I had a time machine, I would want to see the whole story unfold with, Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison and the whole electricity versus oil thing. Don't get me wrong, I got nothing against electric cars. If they didn't screw over Nikola Tesla like however many decades ago, maybe the stigma wouldn't be there that electric cars are stupid or they're kind of they're feminine and unmasculine. But hey, maybe if we focused on that, we would have very efficient electric cars by now.
When I worked in downtown Atlanta, I traded in my Silverado for a damn Prius. Yeah. I traded in for a Prius, and I told my dad, I said,
Good for you. High five to the environment. Oh.
I told him, I said, man, every time we get in this car, a little bit of a manhood dies.
A little bit of my manhood goes away.
I said, it's like a vagina with a side door.
Oh, man.
But that's what he's talking about. Yeah,
that's the price you pay to save the environment.
Actually, well,
thank you.
It was saving me from that Silverado.
Yeah, I bet it's saving me quite
Prius,
a few bucks.
I was saving about $400 a month in gas.
Nice.
And that covered the damn car payment. So I was like, well, the amount I'm saving in gas, I'm going to actually pay for it. So it's like, I would say cancel itself out because that's, I don't know. It might have. But, have you ever seen the movie Looper?
Yeah, I seen that. I think that was like Emily Blunt's first movie. She like kind of had the hick accent. It was really off-putting. And I was just like, who is this woman? Why is she... No, I remember seeing that, thinking cool. It kind of like had the way he got sent back in time to kill his older...
No, they could, now I might be mistaken because I only saw it like the one time, and that's right when it came out, VHS or whatever the hell it came out on. But no, they could jump through different periods of time. So they run, I don't know if they were finding wormholes or knew where they were, but they could like jump and then all of a sudden be in a different area. And then they were having to hunt people, not only... You're hunting down this criminal not only in, oh, he's in Paris, but yeah, what year is he in Paris? Because I think the time frame is the same. Like, oh, it's September 29th, or whatever the case may be. But, like what year it is. So, I mean, you'd have to go to, I don't know I don't know about these wormholes. I might have to watch that movie again.
I remember with Looper, he was sent to the future to kill his older self or something like that. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was trying to kill Bruce Willis, or the other way around, or something.
I think I remember the movie, but I don't know if I've ever seen it.
Well, when I really think about it, that all seems just really far-fetched. I mean, I think the only like true space travel kind of like going through space really fast. Even though it
Because
kind of doesn't matter. Like, you travel so fast through space, it's just like, oh, well, 1 trillion miles that way, Earth is like, like 10 years difference.
Well, you were mentioning Neil deGrasse Tyson. I watch a lot of his reels and stuff, and he's basically saying, yeah, your life is, the faster you get, the longer your life is, I guess, relative to, or let's say, like Interstellar.
Yeah, the space travel on that one.
You go near the speed of light because they got near to like a black hole.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got near the speed of light. But once he got home, since he was so near the speed of light, his age was only like 30 minutes to an hour, and when he got home, everybody was 70 years older.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I remember. And, like, I think that's kind of the only time travel that's possible. But even in that case, like, through space, you'd be 1 trillion miles away. Can't,
that's...
We traveled through time, but now we're in the middle of space.
You're the first man to travel through space. Luckily, you're in the middle of nowhere, and you'll never get home. You're going to die
I guess
soon.
you can, at that point, you kind of just send the signal back to Earth saying, hey, it worked.
But they probably they received the message, what, like 70 years later?
I don't know how long it would take.
Yeah.
Just how long it would take to get the spaceship up to 88 miles an hour. We gotta top this thing now.
Ella's spaceship has like a rabbit and a turtle. Hold on to your damn necks.
Oh, man.
But how we looking? Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, you cannot travel to the past. So whatever's happened until this moment, to this very year of January 1st, 2024, it has already happened. Don't dwell on that shit. Move on. It's a whole new year. And subscribe to us so in this new year you can find out what the hell Jon and James got on our minds and what we're thinking about.
Yes,
so,
I like it.
Subscribe, like, comment, tell us what you're thinking, and we'll see you on the next one. Good night. Peace.